The High School Sports Beat is brought to you by Alfred State College, where within 6 months of graduating, an astonishing 99% are working or furthering their studies. At Alfred State, they stress project-based learning, where students work on real-world problems and learn how to think, not what to think. Visit alfredstate.edu.
Sports. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's how we roll. It's wins and losses, highs and lows. It's effort, respect, and dedication. The High School Sports Beat. Sports. It's who we are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. We begin our look at Section 5 sports this week with our opening story, brought to you by Sticky Lips Barbecue and Juke Joint. Sticky Lips Barbecue Juke Joint, New York State's largest barbecue restaurant right here in Rochester. See our menu and live music calendar at StickyLipsBBQ.com. Sticky Lips BBQ, Jefferson Road in Henrietta. For almost 20 years, Section 5 has hosted a Recruitment Night. It's a great opportunity to bring together area colleges with Section 5 football players who want to continue to play at the next level. Kyle O'Gara was there to document the night.
The RIT Inning Conference Center played host to the 20th annual Section 5 Recruitment Night on December 2nd. Event organizer George Giordano looks at the night as a great opportunity for Section 5 football.
Normally we have anywhere between 25 and 30 colleges here, all in one place at one time. It gives us a chance to bring the high school kids in and give them a chance to, with their parents, meet with these coaches and give them a chance to, maybe set up a visit and share their resumes and their highlight tapes, transcripts. So it's something that we're very proud of.
No, I think it's awesome. I think it's a great way for kids to actually interact with other coaches from colleges. And I think when you get kids in front of coaches, they get a better idea of what they're really recruiting. And I think it's awesome for the kids.
It's honestly kind of a blessing because the recruitment process is pretty chaotic sometimes, especially with all the coaches talking to you at once from different places. And all of it in one place is kind of really neat and organized.
Among the large group of colleges represented at the event was Steve Deanna with PrepStar, a nationwide college recruiting organization.
I think it's a big deal. I think it really is. I think the exposure is huge. I think they thrive on the opportunity to go and meet with coaches, discuss with them face to face. They don't get a lot of time to be able to ask a lot of the questions, right? They're going to tour a school if they're fortunate and they're in the process and doing it the right way. They're going to the school and coaches introducing them, they're showing them facilities and everything. This gives them an opportunity just to sit there and ask questions. The coaches are behind the table and, the student athlete, the player can be, the one kind of on the offensive.
Alfred State head coach Scott Lynn oversees a new football program coming off its best season yet in its second year of Division III play.
The thing that we take the most pride in at Alfred State College is that our graduates are extremely successful after they leave us. This was the 10th consecutive year where 99% of our graduates either continued on with their education or were in jobs within 6 months after they graduated with us. It's very hands-on in every single major, and we prepare our graduates to be successful right away upon leaving Alfred State.
The night is also a chance for athletes to find a college that fits in well with their chosen interests.
I cared a lot about how the campus life is for the students, but also about how the football program did, see if I can help benefit the team, and just what the coaches look for in a person and a student and their players.
It's a dream, but if football don't lead me to to the pros then I'll just take my business degree out of college and just be satisfied with it.
I want to be like a business major and try to go for accounting, so I'll push that a little bit, but also a great culture in the football and just a great team.
What's clear is a level of talent in Section 5 is on the rise and getting noticed.
I'll tell you, we've got some great ones. I'll tell you personally, I got a guy that just showed up who's Class C Player of the Year.
I hope to get my name out to a lot of these colleges so that I can get my name more on the recruiting board because I really want to pursue playing football at the next level, and I think it'd be great for me. It's really just a passion. I've always loved watching football when I was little and playing with my older brothers, and it's always been just really great to me. It's taught me a lot of new things that I never would have learned from other sports, and I think it's just really great to my life.
I'm a junior, so I just want to look at a few colleges and see like what's the options around, really.
So you think getting an early start will help you?
Yeah, I'm trying to get early as I can, so I could just see the options around what schools are offering and see what I got around here, around Rochester.
Well, I've always loved football, and I always wanted to continue on. If it was Division I, Division III, I didn't care. I just love the sport, and I'm hoping I can continue my career and just go on.
What would it mean to you to continue playing football?
I love football. I just loved playing the sport, the brotherhood, just the hard work and commitment to it. Just love the intricacies of the game and how it works.
The success of the night isn't easily measured. For a lot of these coaches and athletes, this is just the start of the recruitment process.
The kids, lots of times when a college recruiter comes to their school, they're in class, and sometimes the teacher doesn't let them out. And so they miss that opportunity. I think this gives them a chance to come in with their parents and spend some relaxed time face-to-face with the college coaches.
Recruiting is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So, I don't think it's tough to kind of look at it that way. Most of these kids are going to make their decision in the spring. And so a lot of these kids we've already gotten a chance to meet with, connect with in the high schools. So for some of these kids, it's maybe meeting for a second time, maybe meeting them with their folks where we haven't met them before. And obviously for some, for us to introduce ourselves to them and them to learn about our school and our football program.
Yeah, this is more like speed dating. Guys just kind of roll on through, and you're trying to capture their imagination and attention. So you're trying to find that niche that you can connect with them and try to hold on to them a little bit and capture their attention and get to learn more about them, ask them questions and see how they think on their feet, and just kind of really get down to what they're looking for, and then, trying to stand out.
From Henrietta, this is Kyle O'Gara for the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College.
Coming up next, Matt Trabold joins us for the Dunkin High School Notebook. We'll have that and more when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, returns.
I know you're not supposed to look straight at it, but...
Man, it looks delicious. Get ready for a whole new way to start the day. Introducing the great-tasting, plant-based Beyond Sausage Sandwich. Only at Dunkin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. It is time now for the High School Notebook, brought to you by Dunkin. America runs on Dunkin. And if it's time for the High School Notebook, that means it's time for Matt Trabold. Matt, great to have you back.
Thanks for having me back.
So, Matt, we're going to start talking a little bit about Pittsford-Mendon basketball, one of the perennial powers in our area. They went out of the area, went west to Buffalo, and had a heck of a game.
Absolutely. So, coming into this season, they had a lot to prove, at least early on, because that team a year ago that was so successful, they lost 4 starters from them. That team, they won states. Even better, they won federations, which doesn't always happen for Section 5 teams once they get to that point. So it's a matter of what is going to happen to make sure to still have plenty of success this season. And they started off with plenty of it, won the first 2 games by 30 and then 72 points. And then after that game number 3, the competition could not have been higher. You said it a second ago. They have to go to the Buffalo area, so already on the road environment, going up against the Williamsville South team that has all sorts of D1 talent. That includes a UConn commit, 6'6" Amari DeBerry, a top 5 recruit nationally. And it's not just her, they had a bunch of talent around her as well. So it's kind of going as a lot of people might have expected for a Mendon team, trying to figure out who's going to be the leadership. Down 7 points, or I should say, with 7 minutes left, down 9 points. And then Lexi Green and company clawed their way back. Fast forward to 3 seconds left, down 3. The captain, the one captain on the team right now, a senior in Katie Bishoping, she inbounds the ball around the 6'6" defender and gets the ball right back from Lexi Green. In the corner, contested 3, sends it at the horn to overtime. And you know what? Overtime was wild as well. It was back and forth, and then with a minute to go, DeBerry gets a really, seemingly at the time, big injury. She limps off, and then from the 15 seconds left, You couldn't write it. She comes back in, limps back in, and on one foot hits 2 clutch free throws with that 15 seconds left to win 62-60. The game was a classic.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll talk about another team that has always, they're one of the ones you're going to look for, but let's talk about the Gates Chi-Lite girls.
Yeah, so Sierra Dillard's obviously there a little while ago, but the last couple years, they haven't had it quite. Last year, 7-14, but it seems like Gates is ready this year to have their first winning season since 2016. They seem to have those pieces, and not just to get over 500, but do even a little bit more and see what they do in sectionals. Miriam Abizam, as a sophomore last year, was a star. She was really big in the middle for them, not just for Gates, not just for Monroe County, but the entire section. She averaged 18 points and 14 rebounds a game. But I think the difference this year could be the fact that the guard play and the wing play around her seems to be much, much better. I think one of the most dynamic guards in the section already is that sophomore in Paris Anthony. She can take it and make it from deep confidently, and she has just a lot of poise and a lot of craftiness on the drive scoring as well.
Now, when you talk basketball around here and you talk boys, you can't go too long without talking about East High School. What is it about the Eagles this year that makes them stand out?
Yeah, so talent-wise on paper, they had a very good year a season ago, but it seemed like they're going to be very good yet again because on paper, they still have a lot of talent. They graduated a couple big guys, though, Maurice Coney and Chaz Washington especially, and then Dylan Scott, who transferred back to Penfield for this season. But they're bringing Justice Ross Simmons, who his older brother Tomas Vasquez Simmons was a star a little while ago for School of the Arts, and he went on to play at Canisius for D1 ball. He comes in from McQuaid as an underclassman star. So the talent is there, but the question is, at least early on coming in, where's the leadership going to come from? Because Chaz Washington brought a lot of that with him when he graduated. But I think it's just sophomores right now. We're seeing early on, that's what's doing it. And even though they're not super veteran in terms of what is next to their name on the roster, you have a couple sophomores in Ross Simmons and one of the head coach's son, Damani Barley, who are really answering that call in terms of veteran leadership. Damani Barley, he might be the most talented, or at least in terms of improvement from last season, guy in Section 5 as a whole. And they have actually a third starter who's a sophomore in 6'1", Burley Kai McCullough. So a lot of young guys playing like old guys.
All right, great stuff. We'll be back with more of the High School Sports Beat brought to you by Alfred State College right after this. Coming up next, it's the Making the Grade nominee with Kyle O'Gara, and later, McQuaid plays in the state finals in the Carrier Dome. We'll have their story when the High School Sports Beat brought to you by Alfred State College continues.
Welcome back, and thank you for watching the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. Hit the ground running at alfredstate.edu. I'm Kyle O'Gara. Making the grade this week is Fairport senior Jake Knapp. Jake is a Section 5 all-tournament team lacrosse player for Fairport and has been on the team for the last 3 years. In addition to his success on the field, Jake has been recognized throughout high school for his academic success. Last season, Jake was selected as a member of the Under Armour Upstate All-American team. After high school, Jake plans to continue playing lacrosse at the Air Force Academy and work to become a pilot. This week, Jake Knapp is making the grade. If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. Send them into mtg@rocksportsnow.com. And now here's Dave with the McArdle Section 5 Spotlight.
Thanks, Kyle. Here are some of the athletes, teams, and coaches making news in this week's Section 5 Spotlight, brought to you by McArdle's in Fairport. Come home to McArdle's. Congrats to Greece Athena's Dylan Rice, who was named to the United Soccer Coaches All-American team. Dylan is the first member of the Trojan boys soccer team to earn that honor. Also reaching All-American status is Marion's Chloe DeLicer, the all-time leading scorer in New York State soccer history and future Ohio State Buckeye. UPrep boys track is off to a hot start this indoor season, taking the top 3 spots in the 55-meter dash at Houghton, won by senior Mike Cathy. And finally, Pittsford-Mendon's Sam Lawler finished 16th at the Nike Cross Nationals in Portland. That's 16th in the nation among 270,000 cross-country runners from the season. Well, up next, McQuaid makes it to the big game at the Dome, when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, continues.
In now to Eichel. He floated one.
Well, welcome back, and thanks once again for joining us on the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. Before we look at the winter season, we must say goodbye to the fall and the last game of the football season for Section 5 as McQuaid plays for the Class AA title against New Rochelle. Here's Paul Gotham.
The 2019 New York State Public High School Athletic Association AA Football Championship saw Section 5's McQuaid Jesuit take on New Rochelle of Section 1. After winning a sectional title for the first time in more than 4 decades, McQuaid advanced to the program's first state championship final.
These kids did an amazing job all year long. There's nothing to hang their head about. What a terrific job they did for McQuaid and for Section 5. Just so proud of our kids, the way they played all season long. I'll still say it, they're a gritty team, they're a resilient team. Love those kids walking into the locker room right now.
The guys in front of us set the precedent of what's expected and how hard you have to work in the offseason, and we took that to heart. We said we didn't want to lose a game, and not wanting to lose it got us here too, because we were just persistent, and everybody remembered the feeling. I got pulled up last year, the feeling of losing in the sectional championship, and that feeling inspired us to do what we've done this year.
New Rochelle was looking for its first title since 2012. Winners of 5 straight sectional crowns, the Huguenots also reached the 2018 final.
We came out, we were focused, we were ready. That's a really good football team over there. It's a really good football team.
McQuaid had the first good scoring opportunity of the game when the Jesuit Knights took over possession inside New Rochelle territory after a muffed punt. But the Huguenots stopped McQuaid 3 and out.
Yeah, we had a tough time getting the ground game going. That's a really tough defense, and they forced us into some long downs and kind of forced our hand to pass the ball a little bit, and they covered on the back end, and they created a lot of pressure on us. So that's a phenomenal football team over there. All the credit to them for coming out here and battling, but our kids have a lot of fight in them too. So.
It appeared the Jesuit Knights would gain momentum again 3 possessions later when Casey Howlett intercepted a Tariq Benjamin pass in the end zone.
We got to try to score, man. You got to get the ball in the end zone, and we just couldn't really get too much going tonight offensively. I thought our defense did a heck of a job of keeping us in the game. We couldn't get anything going offensively. It was a tough night for us offensively.
Again, though, the New Rochelle defense was up to the challenge.
That's probably the best defense I've ever played against, ever thrown against. They just got athletes all over the place. The man defense that they play and the way those guys are able to break on the ball it's unreal. So
they brought a lot of pressure off the edge, and we had a tough time picking that up. So we didn't have a lot of time to throw the ball. So that hurt us a little bit. And they covered on the back end really well too.
The Huguenots scored with less than 3 minutes remaining in the first half. For a McQuaid squad, which had allowed just 3 second-half touchdowns in 5 postseason games and outscored their last 3 opponents 55-22 in the second half, the deficit looked surmountable.
I mean, we were stressed, as we should be, but we did it against Aquinas and we did it against Lancaster, so I mean, we figured we could do it again.
But it was not to be on this night.
We weren't trying to get too cute with anything. We were just trying to run our stuff, and they bottled things up pretty good. So, we just had a tough night.
New Rochelle's a great team. I think they battled hard, we battled hard, and some things just didn't go our way tonight, and they won.
The loss did not take away from the significance of McQuaid's run.
Ever since last year, we were hungry. We wanted the sectionals. We got the sectionals. We got everything we wanted and more. It sucks that the cards played out like this, but overall, we had a very successful season, and I'm glad I played a part in it.
It's been an incredible ride. We've had a great team this year, great family, and everyone gave it all they had tonight, and we're upset with the results, but we fought hard all season, and it was a great year.
The message is going to be, I'm so proud of these kids. I love these kids. They work so hard week in, week out. They work so hard in the off season. Like I said, they've done such a great job of representing McQuaid and yes, setting that bar extremely high for the kids that are coming up in the future. But what they did for McQuaid Jesuit this year was something pretty special.
coming into this game, whether we were state champions or not, I was going to be sad because it was going to be over. And I didn't want it to end. I mean, there's nobody like this group of guys, and there's no team I've ever been on that has loved each other more, and that's what got us here, the chemistry for sure.
Well, we'd like to thank our sponsors, especially Alfred State College, for making the Sports Beat possible. We'd also like to thank the athletes, teams, and coaches in Section 5. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here next week.